and directed it, right?
I directed it and I co-wrote it with Doug.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
What inspired you to create this idea of it's a holiday horror type?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a coming home for the holidays kind of horror movie. I mean, like a weekend that I always am obsessed with is that like weekend of Thanksgiving, like the first Thursday before Thanksgiving, when everyone from your high school is back in your hometown. Everyone goes to that local bar. They get fucked up. You're like, I remember that guy. Oh man, he got bald. And like it's and you get really. You get all these like hard jolts of nostalgia, and it just sort of like fizzles from there. It's like this little world unto itself that weekend, and we sort of just became obsessed with this feeling of like the nostalgia that you're dying to hold on to, but you can't, and so that was sort of like we always knew we wanted to tell a movie around that weekend, and it became kind of a question of like, well, how do we tell this in a different way? How do we make this about something more exciting than just like, you know, a white guy coming home and being like, my life is weird now. And we needed it to be something that had a little bit more stakes and weight. And so that was sort of our into it.
Are you a fan of the horror comedy?
I mean, I love it. I mean, I think Get Out is the best movie of the year. It's shocking it didn't win the Oscar, but I mean that's almost in a different way. I think what was that Joss Whedon? Cabin in the Woods. That was a couple years ago. That actually just blew my mind. I was like, they're doing something totally different. Where this is a high concept kind of almost comedic take on a horror. I would love to push even harder into the horror thriller genre and see how much comedy you can still retain. You know, this one is definitely like more on the side of the comedy than the thriller, but it's still a lot of thriller, like horror elements. But anyway, that's what it is.
And you wrote and directed. Do you have a preference, or you like doing everything?
Everything that you write, when you're a writer, you know what you want it to be, and so every time you have to give it to another person to make it, there's a little bit of loss in translation there. There's invariably, even no matter how collaborative you are and how good that director is, they take that baton and they run with it and they make it their own thing. And so, there's nothing more natural than directing your own work, because it's all here. Like I wrote it because I knew what I wanted it to be. I wasn't guesstimating. So it's it's something that felt very natural. I directed other people's works. I like doing that, but there's nothing more organic than just taking something that like was already in you. Like it's all just there. You just need to like clear away the cobwebs.
Did you go to film school?
I went to NYU, but I went to Gallatin, which is like the individualized study school where you get to be a free agent and take classes at any of the schools. So I took a lot of classes through dramatic writing, a couple through film, and then I just took a ton of internships. I worked at The Daily Show and Michael Moore and a couple of development companies. And so I was just, from as soon as I could, I was making shorts and sketches, and the Upright Citizen Brigade is sort of my home. And so I've been making like sketches and short films since I'm 19.
I went to improv there.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's my old home forever. Now I have a home in Los Angeles there. Come on out. Fridays at 11.
Yeah.
Great.
So what would you tell younger you that's like just starting to make these shorts and everything, that's kind of like struggling? How do you like...
Yeah.
Oh. Now that you're at South.
That guy was depressed. Oh, man. You're not going to be living on Adam and Doug's couch forever. You can, just keep. Honestly, you got to weather the storm. I mean, everyone starts broke and bad and being rejected, and just it's just a game of wills. How long can you stick it out? Yeah.